Be'ez Hashem Yisborach, we begin Perek Shisha, the sixth chapter in the Rambam, Hilchos Avodas Kochavim, the laws of worshiping Avodah Zarah and B'chukas Abdeh, and the laws of those who serve it, in the Sefer Mad, the book of knowledge, which in this perek we discuss other ways of serving Avodah Zarah. As Rambam gives halacha alf regarding what's known as oiv or yudayni. Ha'isa oiv. If someone does oiv, which is some type of necromancy that someone is an intermediary between those who are still living and those who have passed away. Oy yudayni, which is some type of sorcery that says what's not known and about telling the future. So if someone practices this bertzayne willingly, meaning not forced, and bezadin deliberately, not by mistake, chayiv karas is liable for karas to be cut off his life at a young age. If there were witnesses and the warning, niskal, he would get stoned to death. Now, if he did it by mistake, maybe chatas kavod, then he brings a set sin offering. Now, what is this action of oiv that's forbidden? This is someone who stands, he brings a specific type of incense, and he holds on to a stick of a myrtle branch in his hand, and he waves it. And he talks in whispers, in certain types of ways that they know by them, these who practice this, until the one who's asking hears, as if someone's speaking with him, and he's responding to what he's asking, from things that are beneath the ground, with a very, very low voice, as if it's not recognizable to the ear. It's just in his thoughts that he senses this. If someone takes a skull of a dead person, and he sacrifices to it, and he does some type of incantation and some type of weird actions, until it's heard as if there's a voice coming out from beneath his armpit, very, very low, in response to him. All these are maisa oivheim, they're all actions of this Avodah Zarah called oiv. Whoever does any one of this niskal, he gets stoned to death. Halacha beis ketzid maisa hayudaini. What's this Avodah Zarah yudaini? Manich etzem oiv sheshmo yadua bepiv. He puts a bone from a bird, which its name is called yadua, in his mouth. Umakter, and he sacrifices. Va'isa mais machem, he does other types of actions. Achiyipol kenich, until he falls like epileptic. V'dabe bepiv dvarim shasidin liyas, and he talks from his mouth things that will be in the future. All these mini avodas kochavim, all types of idolatry. And where do we know the prohibition? Shlomo says in Torah in Parashat in Sefer Vayikra, Al tifnu elo oivos ve'leidonim, and don't turn towards the oivos, those who practice oiv and yidoni. Halacha Gimel regarding those who give from their children to the Avodah Zarah called Melech. Haneisin mizar lamelech. If someone gives from his children to this Avodah Zarah of the people of Ammon called Melech, birtzainu ubezadin, willingly and deliberately, chayiv karas is liable for karas. By mistake, maybe chatas kavui brings a sad carbon chatas. If he does it with witnesses and with a warning, Niskal gets stoned to death. Like says the Pasuk Mikra, Ashayitim Mezar LaMelech, if he gives from his seed to the Avodah Zarah of Melech, Mois Yumas, he will surely die. Ama Aret Yigamu Ba'ab, the people of the land will stone him with stones. Now, where do we know the prohibition? Shlomo says in the Pasuk in Sefer Yikra, and that from your descendants you should not give to pass over to the Melech. Elsewhere in Devarim it says, "Lo yimotze v'cha," it should not be found by you maver b'noyu bita be'ish. Someone who passes by his son and his daughter in the fire. So how they do this? Malik ish gedela. They would light a huge fire. And the person would take some of his children and give it over to the priests, those who worship this fire. And then those priests would give back haben la'aviv, the son, to his father. After it was given over in their hands, to pass it through the fire, with their permission. Then it would be the father of the son who would pass his son over the fire with their permission of the priest. He would pass him over by foot, and the child would be on his shoulders, from one side of the fire to the other side, through the flame. Now, it's not like he burnt him as a sacrifice to the Melech, the way they do for other Avodah Zarahs, that they burn their sons and the daughters. No, just passing through. This was the service that's called Melech. Therefore, whoever does this service for any other Avodah Zarah, except for Melech, Patis can be exempt, because this is a distinct Avodah that was done specifically for Melech, and therefore if you do it for some other Avodah Zarah, not going to be Chayiv Misa. But had it not been just passing by, but actually would have been literally burning, then actually would be chayiv even for some other avodah zarah because of mekater, which is one of the 4 generic avodas that no matter what it is would be chayiv. Halacha daled. Now, the person is not liable for karas or skila until he gives over his son to the meilech, avodah zarah, and and that he passes his son through the fire when he's walking through the way that it was done to pass him through. But let's say Masr b'lo hever, let's say gives him over to the priest but doesn't pass him through the fire, or hever b'lo Masr, let's say passed him through the fire but didn't give him over, or Shemasr, or he did give him over and the hever he passed him through, but shalei b'derech havara, not the way that they were supposed to do the passing through. For example, the son is walking on his own feet and the father is holding his hands. Then Potter, until you do it the way they did it, he's going to be exempt. And not going to be liable. It's also the liability is only if he gives over some of his children, and he leaves over some of his children. It says in the pasuk because from his children he's given to the melech, which teaches miktsase only when it's some of them, but kula not when it's all of them. Halacha hey. Now this applies echad zera kasha, whether we're talking about legitimate children, echad zera basel, whether illegitimate children. Whether his sons or his daughters, and whether it be his sons and his sons, his grandchildren, for all his descendants who chayv is liable, because they're all included in the category of his seed, of his descendants. But let's say he passes through his brother, or his sisters, or his fathers, or he passes himself through, but he's going to be exempt, has to be zari. Now, let's say even if he passes one of his descendants, but that child was sleeping, or Shahayasuma was blind, Pater is going to be exempt. It doesn't qualify for that liability. Halacha vav, regarding another problem of a desire of a matzeva. Matzeva, a monument, sha'asar Torah, that the Torah says is forbidden, he binyan sha'kol miskabtz mitzvah. It's a structure that everyone gathers to it, even if it's the words of Hashem. Because that was the way of the idol worshippers. Like it says in the pasuk in the bottom, you should not erect for yourself a monument which Hashem your God hates. Whoever erects a monument, like is going to get lashes. Another thing that's included in the category of additions to avodah zarah is the hewn stone floor. So too the hewn stone, which the stone floor that's written in the Torah. Even if he's bowing down in it for Hashem, like he gets lashed Hashem, like says the pasuk Yikra of Evan Maskis, a stone floor. You should not place in your land to bow down in it. Nay, because that was the way of the idol worshippers. Now to put a stone in front of the avodah zarah, to bow down in it. If we don't do the same thing to Hashem. Now, it doesn't get lashes until he stretches out his hands and his feet on the stone. It comes out all of him is laying down on it. This is the bowing down, the prostrating that's mentioned in the Torah, and only then would he be liable for hishtachavoy on the Evan Maskis. Now, but when we say this, is b'shar makom, all other places. That's the liability of the mikdash, but in the base of mikdash itself, it's permitted to bow down to Hashem on the stone. Shlomo says in the pasuk, don't place this in your lands, which teaches in your lands you're not allowed to bow down on stone. But you're allowed to bow down on the stones that are placed in the base of mikdash. Now, for this reason of this prohibition, Nogu Kol Yisrael, the custom of all the Jewish people is Latzia Machtzalois, they put out mats, Bevatach and Nesiyas, in the shuls, Haratuvas Baban, that their floors are made out of stone, they put out mats so that not to bow down on the stone floor. Or even a kashva or some types of straw. Hey, to separate between their face and the stones. Now, if he cannot find something that separates between him and the stone, and he's doing what's called nefilas apayim tachnun, he's bowing down. So if he goes to another place and bows down where there is no stone, which that's how we commonly do tachnun, or he bows on the side and he leans so that his face doesn't touch the actual stone and enter this category of bowing down on the stone. Now, whoever bows down to Hashem on the stone floors without stretching out his hands and his feet, it doesn't get lashes. But we still give him the lashes of rebellion, because even that is similar and we don't want to do that either. But if he does it for Avodah Zarah, then whether he's bowing down with stretching out his hands and feet, even without stretching out his hands and feet, once he dips, he pushes his face into the ground, niskel, he already gets stoned for doing this Avodah Zarah. Halacha tes regarding another area of Avodah Zarah, of a certain tree, the Asherah tree, that a prohibition of planting any tree in the Beis Hamikdash. Hanatei Elon, if someone plants a tree, Eitzel HaMizbeach, near the altar in the Beis Hamikdash, the entire courtyard. So Bein Elon struck whether it's a barren tree, Bein Elon Machal, whether it's a fruit tree, even though they made it just for beauty in the Beis Hamikdash, it's actually very nice. Hadizalike gets lashes. Nebuchadnezzar says the pasuk in the bottom. You should not plant for yourself an asherah. Kol eitz mizbach Hashem makecha, any wood near the mizbech of Hashem your God. Because that was the way of the idol worshippers. With noitin ilons b'tzab mizbech shalah, they would plant trees near their altar. Kadesh yiskap to Shemam, so that the people gather over there. And again, when I'll do these things, asherah, the ebemaskus, the matzeva, all these things are related to the Israel of Avodah Zarah. And halach yod actually asal lasas achsad derois shall eat b'mikdash. He now let him make porches of wood in the Beis Hamikdash. Kadech is the way people make in courtyards. Av b'shuba binyan, even though that's a structure, it's not a planted tree. Harchaki is saying it's an extra level of distance. Shneimah says in the pasuk, kol eitz, all wood. No wood should be there. Rather, all the pavilions, v'aschaches, and the overhangs, hayotzes, minaksalim, shei b'mikdash, they came out of the walls that were in the Beis Hamikdash. Shel even hayu were made out of wood, loy shel eitz, not out of wood. So it was stone, not wood. And again, because it says kol eitz, not to have anything, not even just the tree itself.